Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
What's up?
Welcome to the Daily Show.
Thank you. This is awesome.
This is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it only took 7 years.
No, don't even try that with me. Don't even try that with me. I invited you from the moment I got this job. I was like, yo, Fluffy, you're going to come on the show. You are maybe the busiest person in comedy that I know of because you're always on the road, you're doing massive shows, and now massive is an understatement. Let's start with that. Congratulations, first of all. Not just selling out Dodger Stadium, selling it out twice. That's, like, what does that even feel like?
Man, as far as, I mean, it's surreal. It's very surreal. It's like, you know, it's the biggest thing I've ever done, and I did it at home. You know, it was the greatest night of my life, and it was documented.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That isn't, when you're performing, I would love to know, because for those who don't know, so Gabriel Iglesias is one of my favorite people in the world, like not just as a comedian, but as a human. When I first came to the US, right, he came to one of my shows. No one knew who I was. Came to one of my shows, waited till everybody left. I was like, this guy's like a creep. Everyone was gone. And then he came up to me from the back of the room and he's like, hey, Trevor? And I was like, yeah? And he's like, my name's Gabriel Iglesias. You don't know who I am, but I'm a comedian out here. And I think you're very funny, and I'd love for you to come on the road with me. I know you're big in South Africa, but no one knows you here, so I don't want to offend you. And you took me out on the road with you, and truly, that may be some of my favorite memories I've ever had in life. You took me to El Paso, Texas. You took me to Erie, Pennsylvania. You took me to... And so, like, what I'd love to know is how it feels to perform, because what I love about your journey is there is no club you haven't been in, there's no theater you haven't performed in all over the world, and now it's stadiums. Like, what's different about a stadium that you love, and then what is the thing that you miss about a tiny little club?
What's awesome about a stadium is, first of all, just saying you're at a stadium. Because it's like, now you're like, oh, look at you. It's like a Mexican Tay-Tay. You know what I mean? He's doing stadium. And then, of course, clubs. It's very intimate. It's right. Instant. You know, it's right there. It's very, very nice. And so there's, of course, you know, pros and cons to both.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know where it's going to go now.
I feel like it's not even going up. You've been consistently successful every single year around the world. You know, as I started going to other countries, people would tell me they came to my shows because they saw us together doing something. You've traveled to multiple countries, you know, way before other American comedians even have. What do you think, you know, is part of your success? Why do people love Fluffy so much? Even that name, like that nickname, Fluffy, has become synonymous with, it's become a joyous nickname.
I think it's just one of those, you know what, I'm a fish out of water. I share stories. I try not to get in people's faces. It's always a good time. I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm not trying to tell you what shot to take. I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm just sharing stories, and people can relate to that.
You have one of the most diverse audiences I've ever come across. You know, you bring people together. You've always enjoyed sharing your heritage. You know, you'll do jokes. Some of them will be in Spanish, but then you'll play with English. You'll mess around in the audience. That's what I loved about being on tour with you. When you look at the rest of the world now, do you still have places you dream of going to and performing in, or have you done it all?
I want to go to South Africa.
I'll take you.
And that's why I'm talking to you.
This guy, I'll take you.
That's what I'm telling the man.
I thought you were going to say something difficult.
No, I've pretty much been everywhere, but South Africa has always been that one.
You've never been to South Africa?
I've never been to South Africa.
Fluffy, we're going to take you to South Africa. Fluffito.
Fluffito, hey.
My man Fluffy. You're playing games. You're playing games.
I've never been. I would love to go, and I think you're the perfect person to take me.
I'll take you. Let's go. The other things you're doing in the world, I feel like I hear your voice in everything from Space Jam to Paw Patrol to, like, I hear, like, your voice, you do a lot of voice work, don't you?
A lot of voiceover work, yeah. COVID, man, I had to do something.
Because you can do every voice as well.
Yeah, I did a lot of, I did like 3 movies from home during 2020.
Like, you watched them?
No, I did 3 movies.
Oh, okay.
I did 3.
Like, Fluffy, I did like 20 movies from home.
Yeah,
what
right?
do you mean?
I did voiceover 3 films while I was home.
Right.
You know, and you got to be careful. You got to be specific, because if you say you work from home doing videos, they think you have an OnlyFans or something, right? Don't get me wrong. I could get paid doing that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you got the movies. Wait, I heard that you're also working on a new show now, right? Are you doing something else?
Doing something for Netflix, yes.
Yes.
A new film called I Chihuahua. It's a story that, you know.
Well, you've got to give context as well. You've got. I mean, you've always been a lover of Chihuahuas.
Yes, I have a couple of them. I didn't bring them because freaking. But no, yeah, this is this thing, this project I'm working on with the producer and writer of a film called Book of Life, and Maya and the Three. We got together, George, and we started coming up with this idea, and yeah, it's coming out next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Netflix says yes, but sometimes they say no. But most of the time they say yes, which is cool.
I feel like everyone should say yes to you. You're one of the nicest, most wonderful human beings who I've had the pleasure of meeting. You're always kind to comedians. You know, when they're on the road, you'll bring out comics who are struggling, and then you'll give them a leg up. Audiences will get to know them. I would love to know, who's the comedian who shaped your life? Or not even the comedian, who's the person who, like, whenever you look back and go, man, if it wasn't for them, this journey wouldn't be the same?
That's my mom. That's my mom. Yeah. She was the one who would always say, hey, help others, but at the same time, she's like, but that's too much help. Too much. Let them go. Let them go. Sácalos. Pa' fuera. Pa' fuera. I mean, early on, it was one of those things where I just started, going on the road, and no one told me to be nice to people. No one said, hey, help this guy out or take this person on the road. It was just like, when I came up to you, I knew you were hysterical, and you seemed really cool when I met you. So I said, hey, come on. You like Taco Bell? Because you're going to eat a lot of it if you go on the road. And
you think he's joking. So my favorite part of being on tour with Fluffy was how we would eat. So no, because we would eat at a different place. Remember, I hadn't eaten at most takeout places in America, and so we'd stop in all of these random cities, and then every night Fluffy would look at me, and there was this joke that I was telling, like one of the jokes had the word "namin" in it. So then he'd be like, "Hey, namin," that's what he'd call me, right? So it was like Fluffito namin. So we'd go there, and he'd be like, "Namin." He'd be like, "You want to get Taco Bell?" Then I was like, "What's Taco Bell?" And he'd be like, "You never had Taco Bell?" And we went to Taco Bell. It was a group of us, but still, we bought $100 worth of Taco Bell, which, for those who, it was bags and bags of, and I walked out of Taco, I felt like that scene, Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. I've never had that much food. And I remember, I walked back to the tour bus, and I looked at you, and you looked at me, and I just had the bags. Man,
hey, you never lived like this.
I've never lived like this. I've never lived like this. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. I'm glad I could have you on because genuinely, you're so busy. You basically came in just for this, which I appreciate. This is genuinely. This guy has he changed my life. He's one of my favorite people in the world. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being in my life, Fluffy. Great seeing you, man. I'll see you on the road now.
South Africa.
I'll see you on the road. South Africa.
South Africa.
You said it on camera, so it's happening. Gabriel Iglesias, everybody.